Hey, what's up, guys? So this is gonna be the week 43 recap. It's kind of late. I got busy. I'm out visiting family, and I honestly should not have traded out here. I should have just hung out with the family and had a good time. But kind of forced some trades, and it kind of kicked me in the butt. But I'll get to that in a second. So I started off trading Eric. I traded pre-market. I shorted after the trend break at a lower high. Covered on at J lines. I covered my second target, popped up, reshorted it, cover, short, cover. Then I covered all when it reclaimed the 90 and J lines. Um, Same time I traded next. I took a loss on this one. Um, So it popped up here. I shorted, I covered, I reshorted, um, which isn't technically well. Yeah, that's fine. Well, I should have cut it off like right over here, and just left it alone. I covered up here, reshorted, added to the short, and added to the short, and then I cut it all off here for not a huge loss, but a loss. And then traded ATOs. So it was popping up, stuffing out, lower high. I shorted, covered, I reshorted, I covered, and then I should just left it alone. But I shorted while I was uptrending. I'm scaling in. I did make a little bit of money on this, so I guess it did work out. I started scaling in. I added a little bit more. Then when I loaded the boat up here, then I held past my first target, covered everything on the second target, and so I started off the week a little bit rough, but wasn't uh, wasn't horrible. Then I traded LPTH. Yeah, this is when I was actually I was at the airport. um, I shorted here, covered here. I started scaling in short, and then a flight was leaving, and no, I covered here a little bit, and then I'm pretty sure I was trying to hold this. My flight left at like 11:30, and pretty sure 11:30. I covered like somewhere around here, uh, all of it, which worked out for me because I mean, it just kind of went lateral and then just ripped. So worked out. But you know, trading at the airport, so it kind of got a little messed up. But then I traded. So I traded on my birthday. So I want to be completely honest. I woke up and I was just like, all right, awesome. This stock went crazy. It's gonna be a nice, easy, like record day for my birthday. I was assuming, and I got my butt kicked. So I started short, covered, short, covered it open. Um, oh wait, no, because I longed it. I remember I longed it here, and then I got covered because I did want this pop it open. Um, Shorted. I covered for a small loss. I shorted. Uh, I should have covered into the wash. I didn't. I covered break even. I scaled in short, short. Cover down here, or I covered here, reshorted. I don't see where my cover is, unless I reshorted up here, covered, shorted, cover, short, cover, short. Uh, and then I covered here, short, cover. And then this is when I think I was starting to look for a long. Well, this doesn't look horrible, but the range on this killed me. So after I got cut up, shorting it, I was like, all right, wait for it to hit my target, wait for a curl, and long it. And so he's holding this trend. I started scaling in long here. I longed a little bit here. And what I was waiting for is this cup. I want to see it break, and then I want to see it rip up towards at least 1250s. So I longed big size here, stuffed, it slammed down, and it hit my max loss. But I literally took like 3 max losses in one day on my birthday because I was trying to force a trade, and that sucked. And then of course, I have to add to it. So the next day I came back and I was like, all right, well, you need to make back your loss from yesterday. So of course I took another max loss because I was trading just stupid. Um, I scaled in short, um, add to the short. I covered partial half my position and then it just ripped. And I remember thinking that if it broke over uh, 650s, I was going to cut it off. Well, I sat, prayed, whatever, and it didn't work. And this thing just ripped, and I hit my max loss. And yeah, so that sucked. And then I came back the next day and was like, all right, it's my mom's birthday. I probably shouldn't be trading. Just try to stay relaxed and don't be trying to force anything. And funny because I took a max loss on my birthday, and then the only time that I actually made money out in Idaho was on my mom's birthday. So that made her happy, but my performance on my birthday made me want to cry pretty much. So there's that. Just to start popping up, I saw something out here had a nice big wash. I wanted to like short up here. I missed it. I started scaling in, and it didn't work, so I cut it. But once again, this is like a overpriced stock. So my two biggest losses of the week came from stocks for over $10, and I need to stay in my niche. It's like I was just searching for a record day, and because I want to show off. I want to prove that like I had big wins. Last month I wanted to come out here and I was with all my family. I wanted to show off and be like, yeah, look at I'm doing it. I'm really doing it. And it's like, well, but when I was talking to my buddies, they were all like, been there, done that kind of thing. And this is my first time like really going for it out here. And but it kind of bit me in the butt because I started having those big days and those good days because I was trading the system, I was trading the setups, and I was being smart. I wasn't forcing anything. Well, when you force things, it doesn't work out. Luckily, I waited. I shorted here, but then I added to the short, which this is kind of what messed me up because I made like I was only in half size up here, but I still did really well. Um, I added to the short, which lowered my stop. I covered here. I covered uh, break even or in the money. I shorted for a stop. I shorted again, covered. I added to the short down here, which is just stupid because of my average was way down here. If I would have not been greedy and I would just taken short here and waited for my first cover down here, or added to the short down here and have my stop be above here, I never would have got stopped out. So like that's like the lesson of the story is don't be greedy. Like if you're only in part size, you're like, oh man, I'm missing out on so much money. Who cares? If you have an opportunity to add to size like on a legit like play, then yeah, add size. But like me adding size down here like an idiot made me lose a lot of money. This could have been a huge trade for me. This could have literally been the record trade that I was looking for. But since I was trying to force it, it didn't happen. And but I learned from this. Like I remember being in the trade and just like wanted to smack my head against the wall, and because every time I got a good short, even with half size, like I mean the range on this thing was over $1, and if I would have had my main position, I would have shorted say at my next actually legit place and add to my short. I would covered at my first target. I mean that's $15. The first short was at like 16.50. So I had like a 16.25 average. Yeah, that's good. Like I'd have been killing it. And then there's another perfect short up here to recycled over down here. If I would have shorted down here, it would have made my average about where my second short was at, which means I would have just doubled my money. Pops over here, reclaims, cut it all off. I cut it all off at 15.20 or 15.14. The average is 16.25. It's a pretty dang good day. And then, but anyways, at the same time, I shorted VX RT. I took the backside to it. I shorted, covered for a small loss. I was only in, no, I went in full size here. I shorted here, trend break, cover, and then cover when it reclaimed the 9. So I didn't have a very good week. Thanks to the trade on my birthday, I actually lost money this week, which you know in my like week 10, well, my week 1 through like 35, that wouldn't have been a big deal. But like I haven't had a red week in in a minute, so it's just kind of like one of those things where it's a kick in the butt because it's like I didn't need to have a red week. I'm on vacation. I came out here to see the family and I had the best trip like I've had in a long time. And I should have just enjoyed it. Or like got on, looked for like a perfect A plus setup, crystal clear, not trying to force anything. It would have just made it better. And but because I was trying to force stuff, it came back to bite me in the butt. And so, you know, I'm still new. I'm still, a beginner. So I need, I guess, these wounds to kind of help me progress in the game. So, but anyways, it's just a nice short, sweet um, recap. It's late. Like I said, I got busy. I've been hanging out with my family. I'm exhausted. Drove around the mountains. Had an absolute blast. Had a barbecue. I went paintballing yesterday, and I don't know if any of my cousins watch this, but Scott, I'm still mad at you for for setting me up and lighting me up. He shot me like 9 times after Uh, it's a long story, but Scott, if you're watching this, like, I got a bone to pick with you. So, but anyways, hope you guys have a good week or rest of the weekend, and I'll be back next week. Later.